Heard that.
I don't think that's true. Damn.
What a night. Whoa. Well, Jessica, right here in front. I know it's been a little bit since your fight, and we've obviously had two major title fights right here, but I'm just curious, back in the win column against Mackenzie Dern, so what are the emotions now that you've erased the last 3 losses?
Então, que você estava esperando aqui por conta dessas 2 lutas por título, mas como é que você se sentiu depois de uma vitória como essa, vindo de 3 derrotas?
Que noite incrível, né, gente? Vários nocautes, várias finalizações. Brasil com cinturão de novo. Muita emoção, muita alegria e 4 flashdowns em uma noite só, né? Numa luta só. Eu acho que eu tô batendo os recordes aí, hein?
So what a night! I mean, so many knockouts, submissions. Brazil has a title again. We have a belt, and so many emotions. And I got her 4 times. And say, listen, I'm beating records here.
And I'm curious. When we watched Mackenzie Dern's previous fights, she would keep her head up quite a bit, and even the commentary was saying, like, they don't really like seeing Mackenzie like throw these combinations and leave her chin wide out there, and then you found a home for it at the end. I'm curious, did you see that in preparation? Is this how you saw the fight playing out?
Nas últimas lutas, a gente viu que a Mackenzie estava levantando muito aquele queixo ali, inclusive durante o comentário da tua luta, foi falado que ela estava deixando o queixo muito alto. Virou um alvo para você. Você realmente parece que encontrou uma casa ali e dali você foi isso que você viu mesmo? Estava na estratégia antes, você encontrou na luta?
Nossa estratégia, né? Dentro do vestiário, meu coach já tinha falado comigo, olha, ela não tem força para te nocautear e assim que ela sentir a sua mão, ela vai começar a se abrir e você vai ter o espaço para você fazer o que você quiser. E foi o que aconteceu durante a luta, né? Ele falava o tempo inteiro para mim ter paciência, para eu ter calma, que a luta era a luta da calma. E eu só tinha que achar o momento certo, o tempo certo para colocar os golpes e funcionou.
I mean, we knew that this was going to happen. We knew that my team had mentioned that. I mean, she does not have the strength to knock you out. So that means that whatever you get in there and you hit her, she's going to feel it and she's going to open up, and that's exactly what happened. She opened up, and that's what we saw. That it was a fight of calmness, of patience, and just waiting for the right moment to strike.
And she's been in some, back and forth wars against like Marina and all these other fights, and they haven't been able to finish her. You're now the first person to knock her out. Does that make this win even more special?
E ela já esteve em lutas assim, toma lá da cá, luta com a Marina, por exemplo, e outras lutas que ela estava realmente na porrada, e nunca ninguém fez o que você fez com ela. Como é que você se sente?
Eu estou muito feliz, né? Eu sei a potência do meu golpe, né? Eu sei o quanto eu sou forte. E em todas as entrevistas eu falo, onde a minha mão entra, não nasce mais cabelo. E foi o que aconteceu essa noite, né? Eu sei do meu potencial, eu sei o quão forte eu sou. E eu sei que se eu colocar uma mão, as pessoas não ficam em pé.
I know my power. I know the strength of my strikes. And this is what I always say for every interview. Wherever my hand lands, no hair gonna grow anymore. And I know how strong I am, and we're gonna keep doing this.
And I know at Media Day you said you would exchange information with her so you can keep in touch and talk about what you guys are going through in your personal lives. Were you able to exchange information?
Você falou durante o dia de mídia que você talvez trocasse informação com ela para trocar uma figurinha por tudo que vocês estão passando na vida. Você conseguiu falar com ela e trocar informação?
Durante a semana da luta, sim. Agora eu já não tenho tanta certeza. Mas eu acho que se a gente se encontrar, eu acho que dentro do octógono é trabalho, é nossa profissão. Mas lá fora não tem por que não ter uma amizade, talvez até treinar junto e falar sobre isso, né? Porque é troca de experiência, tudo faz parte da vida, tudo ajuda a crescer.
Before this past week, yeah, during the week, but no, I don't know now. After this fight, but you know what? We're professionals. What happens inside the octagon is one thing, and afterwards, we're professionals. I think it's always important to actually exchange information and just exchange experiences in life.
Como eu ganhei a luta, né? Eu tinha falado que quem ganhasse pagava janta. Então, tá aí, Mackenzie. Se você quiser, nós paga janta essa noite.
And since I won the fight, I said whoever wins the fight pays for dinner. So, Mackenzie, the invitation's open, or I'm paying for dinner.
Then last one for me, what do you want the next year to look like? Because obviously last year you were incredibly active. Do you want to maintain this activity? And at what point do you start looking at, because it seems like you fought everyone in the top 15. Are you looking at rematches or are there fresh names you want to face?
E o que você quer fazer? A gente sabe que esse ano, pro ano que vem, porque esse ano realmente tem sido a coisa mais ativa possível. Você basicamente já lutou contra todo mundo dentro das divisões, ou seja, agora o que? Você quer revanche contra alguém? Como que é o teu ano que vem?
Eu ainda não parei 100% para pensar, mas seria bom ter uma revanche com alguém que eu já perdi, até mesmo para subir mais no ranking e voltar, agora voltando com esse caminho das vitórias, ter a oportunidade de poder disputar o cinturão ano que vem, né? Então, para isso acontecer, eu tenho que me ranquear mais, pegar as meninas mais ranqueadas aí que eu já lutei e fazer essas revanches e trazer a vitória de volta.
I haven't had much time to think yet, but I do think that's what's probably going to be in the way. I mean, actually getting some rematch, because the rematches are what going to take me through the path of being a champion again. I know that in order to be a champion, actually to be able to fight for the belt towards the end of the year next year, I'm going to have some rematches and beat some girls that beat me. So I do feel that's going to be in the way.
É uma coisa que eu quero muito pro ano que vem é ter a oportunidade de lutar no UFC 300, que esse com certeza vai ser histórico e eu quero estar lá fazendo parte disso.
And something that I really want for next year is actually to be able to fight in UFC 300, something that's going to be historic, and I would love to be a part of it.
Is there one rematch that you would want more than the others?
Tem uma revanche que você queira mais do que as outras?
Sem dúvida. Sempre é bom disputar o cinturão, né? Então seria, acho que contra a Weili, porque eu não tive a oportunidade de lutar direito com ela, né? Foi uma luta muito rápida. Seria com ela, mas se a Joana voltasse, também seria uma luta muito boa e muito interessante.
I think obviously having the opportunity to fight Weili, because that was kind of a quick fight, it's kind of taken quickly. So I don't think, I think I deserve another chance, and it'd be really cool if Joanna comes back. That would be really interesting.
It looked like with about maybe 60 seconds left in the first round, you flicked a switch and really started taking it to Dern. Was it just something you noticed at that point? You'd realized her strikes weren't hurting you? Or was there some sort of maybe concerted effort to finish a round strong? What happened there?
A gente viu que mais ou menos com alguns segundos faltando, com uma certa quantidade, um tempo, mais ou menos 60 segundos faltando no primeiro round, você basicamente acendeu. Parece que caiu a ficha e você foi para cima dela. Foi alguma coisa que você viu? Foi o momento de atacar? Ou basicamente você só queria finalizar o round?
Na verdade, foi a estratégia que a gente montou da minha equipe. O meu mestre estava comigo dentro do vestiário e ele falou para mim, olha, fica bem atenta, essa luta é a luta da paciência, vamos ter calma, vamos trabalhar junto, me escuta. Quando tiver faltando 20 segundos para acabar o primeiro round, eu vou falar para você e aí você vai com tudo para cima, porque em 20 segundos ela não vai te finalizar, ela não vai te colocar para baixo e você vai conseguir colocar o teu jogo. E aí você vai mostrar para ela quem você é de verdade e aí no segundo round, minha filha, aí a gente vai fazer o nosso trabalho. E foi isso que aconteceu, né? Faltando 20 segundos, eu escutei ele falando, olha, falta 20 segundos, vai para dentro. E aí foi aonde a mão entrou e ela caiu sentada.
Yeah, this is something that was actually we talked about in the locker room before. So coming into the fight, my coach actually had a conversation with me and said, this is a fight of patience. You're going to be calm and patient throughout the fight, but there's going to be a moment about 20 seconds remaining in the first round, that you are going to go at her. And the reason why is because 20 seconds is not enough for her to get position on you or trying to finish. She's not going to finish you in 20 seconds. And you are going to show her what you're all about. And then we're going to calm down for the between the rounds. And then the second round, you're going to go to the barrage and just go at her.
Played out perfectly then.
Acabou funcionando perfeitamente, né?
Foi muito bom.
Jessica, over here one more.
Yeah.
So going into this fight, a lot of people said if Dern gets this to the mat, if she gets a hold of you in the grappling realm, it's over. In the fight, you seem to out-wrestle her in most exchanges you guys had. So I'm just wondering, how did her grappling feel? Was it like as legendary as they say it is?
Todo mundo falou que nessa luta existia uma vantagem dela para cima de você em termos de grappling, ou seja, no chão que ela levava vantagem, mas você basicamente, em termos de você lutou contra ela muito bem no chão. Como é que você sentiu? Foi ela tão lendária nesse aspecto quanto parecia?
Momento nenhum, né, eu subestimei ela, porque eu sei a qualidade do jiu-jitsu dela. Só que eu também sei que dentro do wrestling, do grappling, ela não é tão boa assim. Ela não tem entradas de queda boa. Então, para isso acontecer, para ela ir para o chão, para ela ir para onde ela é forte, ela tinha que me colocar para baixo. E eu já tenho 26, agora são 26, né? 26 lutas dentro do UFC. E já peguei meninas muito mais experientes de wrestling, de grappling. Lutei com a Tatiana, que é uma das melhores do wrestling dentro do UFC, e eu consegui defender as quedas dela no primeiro round. E dentro do alto nível, qualquer errinho que você comete pode ser o fim da sua luta, né? E foi isso que aconteceu comigo e a Tatiana. Então, para essa luta, eu já estava mais do que pronta. Eu sabia que ela não ia conseguir me colocar para baixo e que eu ia conseguir defender as quedas, ia frustrar ela e ia colocar minha mão e ia conseguir nocautear.
I knew that she was a dangerous athlete, and if we went down there, I needed to be really careful. But one thing that I saw is that when she's not as strong in their takedowns as much as she is actually when she's down there. I mean, she has just different positions, and I feel that I was prepared for takedowns. So I knew that if she tried to do that, I knew that I was going to be able to using my experience. I mean, I'm like 26. Do I have 26 fights in the UFC? I mean, that's a lot of experience to actually help me out with knowing what to do down there. And I do feel that I fought girls who were stronger than her. And think about what Tatiana Suarez is. I mean, I just actually had a fight with her, and I know that at this level, you actually the smallest mistake that you make can actually doom you. So I was paying a lot of attention, and my focus is to defend myself. My takedown offense against Tatiana was actually pretty good at one point until I made a mistake, and I wanted just to keep the strategy and at one point get my hand in there, and that's what happened. Knock her down.
Jéssica, aqui. Parabéns pela vitória, primeiramente. Vou falar em português para a gente se entender melhor. E, enfim, a Jéssica que eu vi hoje foi a Jéssica campeã. E foi muito bacana de ver como você utilizou a estratégia perfeitamente e seu punch é um dos melhores da categoria. Você já ganhou e já perdeu o cinturão. Em quantas lutas você acha que precisa, quantas vitórias você acha que precisa para lutar pelo cinturão de novo?
Jessica, the Jessica that we saw today is a Jessica that's a champion. You know that you packed the hardest punches in the division amongst everybody as a fighter. But we want to know, so going forward, what do you think, how many fights do you think you need to get into? How many victories you need to roll together in order to actually have another shot at the title?
Bom, essa Jéssica de hoje é uma Jéssica que tinha meio que adormecido durante a metade do ano, né? Eu vinha muito bem no começo do ano e aí, por questões de divórcio, questão financeira e outras coisas, a minha cabeça me atrapalhou muito. Eu comecei a escutar pessoas e treinar com outras pessoas que não eram a minha equipe. E essa noite, o meu mestre sentou comigo e ele falou assim, lembra quem você é. Lembra aquela Jéssica que ninguém coloca para baixo, aquela Jéssica do começo, que ninguém coloca para baixo, que ninguém nocauteia. É essa Jéssica que eu quero essa noite. Vai lá, você tá aí dentro de você. E foi o que aconteceu. Eu ressurgi das cinzas, trouxe aquela Jéssica de volta. E essa Jéssica campeã é a que vai ficar de agora para frente. Eu espero ter a oportunidade de fazer mais umas 2 lutas, né, e vitórias, que eu acredito que é o que o UFC vai colocar no meu caminho, para eu ter uma chance de disputar o cinturão. Mas eu já tô em quinta nas 2 categorias, então tudo pode acontecer, né? Pode surgir oportunidade de todos os lados.
This was a Jessica that was dormant for quite some time, especially a certain part of the year. And you know what? I was training with people. I was hanging out with people that perhaps were not, they weren't in value to the cause, and they weren't helping out. And everything that I went through in my personal life, every divorce, and everything else. So I needed to kind of bring back into myself. And actually today, the conversation that we had with my coach was like, this is you. You need to be yourself today. This is the person I need to be. You need to be that Jessica. The Jessica is a champion, and believe me, this Jessica is here to stay. And this is I'm myself. I'm the Jessica that you all know. And obviously, I think that maybe with 2 fights, the UFC is going to put me through in a position that I could 2 wins to fight for a belt. But I think that I'm 5th in both divisions, so anything can happen. So maybe I can get something before that.
Thank you.
All good?
we're happy about it.
Thanks. And I guess so. Do you anticipate Tom defending the interim title because of like how they'll have to wait for that fight to happen? Do you expect him to fight somebody else?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see what happens. Took this fight on short notice. Obviously, looked great. He's got plenty of money to chill out for a minute, and we'll see.
Nice. The last thing for me, I just want to ask, 30th anniversary show. I know you're not always the sentimental type or, have time to even reflect, but I guess special moment in the company history. What does tonight mean for you?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's our 30th. I was thinking about this earlier. The corruption that kept us out of New York City for so long, for us to come in here in just 7 years, and you think about this historic arena, this incredible city, and for us to be number 1, 2, and 3 all time on our 30th, and great card tonight, great fights, great crowd. You couldn't really button up a 30th anniversary any better than tonight.
Dana, to your right.
Yeah.
I know you follow boxing for a long time, and Joe Louis, who won a title in this arena, was known for that, like 6-inch left hook that he had, short little. And I kind of thought of that when Alex landed that punch tonight, that little short hook on Jiri. It was like that kind of power is rare, and you don't see that very often. Do you think that that's what separates him kind of from the rest of the pack?
Yeah, and what's crazy too is like the first leg kick hurt him. He knew it. He kept kicking that leg, and that leg was going to be a problem as the fight went on. And, the kicking power, the punching power. He moves like a middleweight, and he's pretty nasty.
And Yuri's kind of a tough guy to figure out. With
and he's tough. Durable, tough guy.
Right. And I guess, what I'm impressed with Alex in that case is the fact that he's 7 fights in his UFC career, and 10 fights or 11 fights overall, and he's able to deal with those things. Yuri was switching stances a little bit early, and kind of the way he was moving. Does that impress you, the fact that how Alex has grown in this short period of time in MMA, and he's adapted, and it seems like he has a complete game already in just how many fights it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he and Israel Adesanya, if you look at them coming from, one style and being able to make the transition and do as well as they've done here, it's very impressive.
And then the last question for me, I asked Aspinall this before the fight. I said, hey, dude, you saw what Volkanovski did and saw what Usman did, and they took the fights on short notice and they lost. Did it give you any pause? And he said, well, you can never win the title sitting on the couch. And I wonder what your thought is on that, because sometimes if guys aren't preparing, they don't give themselves the best chance to win, right? And the fact that, Alex Volkanovski and Kamaru did what they did was commendable, but they also didn't give themselves the best chance to win. But you still believe in guys taking that opportunity, right, in doing what Tom did tonight.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when you get to that level, I mean, you're one of the. I mean, Volkanovski is pound for pound #1 guy in the world. You definitely jump on those opportunities when you get them.
I guess the only thing I was saying, though, is if you're not training on I know all these guys work out, but on a regular basis, right?
His guys told me in the ring tonight that Aspinall was on vacation when he got the call. So, you know what I mean? This is a crazy business, and there's very small windows of opportunity. When big opportunities pop up, you have to take them. In life, period, but especially in this business. You never know what's going to happen. John Jones is getting ready to fight Stipe Miocic and tears his pec off the bone, and you don't know what's going to happen. You never know. So when you get them and you're not hurt, yeah, you take them.
Dana, in the conversations you've had with John and Stipe, do you think that is a retirement fight for them both, or do you think they could be convinced to stick around and maybe fight Tom after?
So I had lunch the other day with Stipe, and Stipe is very focused. Listen, it's one of those fights you have the best heavyweight of all time versus the greatest martial artist of all time. That's the fight they want. It's the fight that makes sense. It's the fight that should happen. I asked Stipe that question. He says, I don't even know. All I care about right now is John Jones. It's the only thing I'm focused on. I want this fight really bad.
With Tom, right, it's not just the way, it's not that he's winning, it's the way he's winning and how quick he's winning. Do you think this guy could be the new generation of heavyweight that likes we haven't seen before and could even go on to be one of the best in that division?
Yeah, so obviously what we've seen of him is great, but I hear even better things about him. I mean, I hear in the gym this guy is an absolute beast. He kicks the shit out of everybody. And the people who surround him and know him well really believe in this guy. So obviously what he's shown us so far has been unbelievable. I can't wait to see what's next.
Now you got 2 champions from the UK. Is there a chance we get a pay-per-view back there next year?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We're going to be going all kinds of places next year. So, yeah, it's fun. I always talk about, how do we beat this year? How do we beat this year? And it's just, you couldn't write a script better than reality. What really happens and how it plays out and where you end up. It's what's so fun about this business.
Yeah. Last one from me, you number 1, number 2, number 3 in Gates at MSG. I know you're not a guy who holds on to grudges very much, but is this the perfect way to say fuck you to those people who kept you out of New York?
Say that again?
Is this the perfect way to say fuck you to the people who kept you out of New York?
Yeah, well, believe me, the people who kept us out of New York went to fucking prison, so they're good. But yeah, the culinary union from Las Vegas, fuck you. Yeah.
Dan, the front right here. I know you gave him a bonus, but what do you make of Benoit Saint-Denis as a talent? A lot of people online are already labeling him as one of the more violent fighters in the division, and he already wants his shot at the BMF title, and then he's already talking about fighting Islam so early into his career. So what do you make of him as a talent moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight was a big night for him. Looked great. He's one of the hottest prospects in Europe right now, period. So, yeah, we're excited.
Similar question about Diego Lopes. You gave him another bonus, but he seemed to get one of the bigger ovations even before this fight, even at ceremonials. He's already calling for main events in Mexico. So a similar question: where do you think you can take a fighter of his caliber? And it seems like he's already a budding star.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's fun. He's exciting. I like everything about this kid. The answer is yes, you could do a lot with him.
And the last one for me, Lupi Godinez became the first female UFC fighter to have 4 wins in 1 calendar year, and her first fight was in May, so 4 wins in like 7 months or something like that. She needs a month off. She seems a little bummed about it, but where do you see the future for her too?
She's bummed out about a month off. That's awesome. Listen, those type of people are right up my alley. I love that stuff, and when you see fighters who have that mentality and that's how they are, it's like Hamzat when he burst onto the scene. People get who are real and who are real fighters. They love that shit. So, yeah, I love it.
And last one for me. Is there any location for the Ilya Topuria-Volkanovski fight? Ilya seemed to be hinting at possibly Los Angeles.
Not yet.
And I assume the same thing for the Sean O'Malley-Cheeto Vera fight? No location yet?
None.
Okay.
We would have announced if we did, but
hey, Dana, to your right.
Here. I know you touched on it a little bit with Alex Pereira, but 7 fights in the UFC, 2 belts. No one had done it faster than 9 fights, which was Randy Couture, and then BJ Penn did it at 11. Just kind of the progress of this, like how remarkable is what he's done in this amount of time?
Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Like I was saying earlier, he's him and Israel both coming from a one style. And then coming in here and accomplishing what they've accomplished. I mean, that stuff was happening like 20 years ago. Now to come in and do it at this day and age and this era is incredibly impressive.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess it was said on the broadcast that apparently Tom Aspinall told Laura Sanko that he strained a muscle in his back pretty much right after he accepted the fight and was barely able to train. Were you aware of that? And
No.
I guess how much more does that make?
Not till right this second, yeah. Yeah, no, it's impressive. See, his guys didn't even tell me that in the octagon. They were telling me he was on vacation when he got the call for the fight, but they didn't say anything about him being injured.
Yeah, and you had quite the group with you, cage side for the main card, Donald Trump, Kid Rock, all those people. What was kind of just the vibe like? What were they saying with this remarkable main card that had 5 finishes?
All those guys are fight fans. Tucker Carlson's first time, and I always tell people that nobody walks into a UFC event live and then walks out and says, yeah, I don't ever want to see one of these again. And, he was just telling me when he was leaving, this is unbelievable. I loved it, and I definitely want to see more.
And you mentioned yesterday in your scrum that the Sphere, the show there, is a done deal, but you didn't really elaborate. Is there any more you can tell us on timeline? Is it still going to be Mexican Independence Day? Or
Mexican Independence Day. We are booked for the Sphere, and we are already working on the creative for the show.
Does it seem like it's going to be a challenge, or can you give us any insight?
It's going to be a massive challenge, and I love every minute of it. I can't wait to dive into this thing. We're reaching out as I get more of the pieces of the puzzle put together. I will. I'll let you guys know as it comes along. But I'm super excited about this. I love challenges. Everybody keeps saying to me, "I don't understand how you're going to put the octagon in there. I don't understand how you're going to do this. I don't understand how you're going to do that." I'm gonna remember that I said this to you tonight. I'm going to put on the greatest live combat sports show anybody has ever seen.
Awesome. And just lastly for me, we were in Saudi Arabia a couple weeks ago. Conor McGregor was there, and he spoke to us for a little bit. He was pretty much begging, saying, like, just please give me my date. Please give me my date. The Schmo reported tonight that his sources are saying Chandler is happening at UFC 300 in April. Is there anything you can tell us about Conor?
What did the Schmo report?
He said that it's the Chandler fight is in the works for UFC 300 in April.
Got it.
Anything you can tell us?
Well, if the Schmo said it, it must be true.
Well, that's the only report out there. But have you talked with Conor? Like, he just seemed very keen to get a date as soon as possible.
He is definitely chomping at the bit to fight again. There is no date.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, to your right in the back. We saw some great performances from the young fighters tonight, guys like Diego Lopez and Joshua Van. How quickly do you want to see these guys back in the octagon, and what impressed you about them?
Everything was impressive about them. I don't know how fast they'll be back. It's going to, there's a lot of different things that determine how soon somebody goes back and fights, but it's not anything that I'm even thinking about right now.
And then Dana, to your left over here.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a little premature, but 2024, any plans to come back to the Northeast? I know maybe March, Atlantic City's circulating. Wondering if you could confirm that.
We have been talking about Atlantic City, yeah. We have been talking about Atlantic City. We've been talking about Jersey. Yeah, we'll see.
Dana, to your right.
I don't even have the locations for the fights that I already have booked. We're still working on, so I'm not, you know what I mean?
Sorry, what do you see next for Jiri Prochazka?
What do you see next for Jiri?
He just fought 25 minutes ago.
Okay.
Dana, please. I have no plans for him right now. He needs to go take some time off, relax, heal. His leg's busted up. And then we'll figure out what's next for him. He'll be back. He's a tough, durable guy, and, we'll figure out what's next.
Thank you.
Dana, on your left. Hey, hello. We have a 22-year-old fighter in France called Baki. He's currently in 8-0. He's fighting next week for the welterweight belt at RS Fighting. We also know he was Khamzat's sparring partner for his fight against Kamaru Usman. And what do you think of him? Do you have an eye on Baki, and are you open to his rival on UFC League?
What was the question?
Whoa. It was about a fighter that's Khamzat's sparring partner.
Yeah.
I do not.
You do not know him?
No.
Oh, okay.
But if he wins, I probably will. And now you just told me about him, so I'll have to check him out.
Okay. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Dana.
Cool. Yeah.
In the middle. Just wondering, now we've got 2 UFC champions from the UK. If you have changed your mind about potentially doing a UK stadium show?
Yeah, I mean, I could. I love the O2. But we'll see. We'll see how he progresses and what happens, and But it's pretty awesome to have a heavyweight champion from the UK. So.
And just another one, Deontay Wilder the other day said that he's interested in transitioning to MMA. Just wondering if that's something you're interested in, and if there's been any conversations between you and Wilder.
Deontay Wilder expressed interest in transitioning into MMA. Just your thoughts on that, and you think that could potentially happen?
I like Deontay. We have a good relationship, and it's interesting. You know what I mean? You never see this shit happening. You never see the boxers going, "Oh, I want to come over there and fight in the UFC." So we'll see what happens.
Sorry, just one more from me.
Yeah.
I've seen a video of Stipe entering the arena. He seemed to have a bit of a limp. Is there any injury issues with him at the moment?
Stipe was limping?
Yeah.
I had lunch with him the other day. He didn't say anything about any injuries. So I don't know. Okay. Yeah, he didn't mention anything to me.
Dana, over here.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on another great night in New York City. Yes, sir. Everybody was commenting about how respectful everybody was to each other. All the fighters respected each other. The temperature was very, very low for this fight card.
We were talking about that too.
Yeah, and it was built on great fighters and just talented fighters and the best in the world. Like, the people that are complaining about it, do the tastes of the MMA fan need to change, or do the fighters need to change where, they need to do better promoting. But like at the same time, like how did you feel about that, or what were your thoughts about it?
You talked a little fast for me at the end. Were you saying, how do I feel about the respect that was shown between everybody?
Correct.
We loved it. I mean, I was talking about Aspinall and Sergei. I mean, their exchange when they were being read the rules, their exchange after the fight. Everybody was super respectful. This is one of those fights where you don't need a ton of shit talk. Everybody knew. People who were in the know, when the Jones fight fell out, people that know the sport knew that fight was a real fight and was going to be good. And everybody was respectful. It's actually kind of cool when that happens, and it makes the stare downs much easier on me.
And we also saw you dipping your toes in boxing. Are we going to see more pay-per-views in boxing, more things on UFC Fight Pass? What's the current plans for boxing?
Well, I mean, right now I like Tom Loeffler. I like his show. I like his matchmaking. HBO's out, Showtime's out, and I'm going to use UFC Fight Pass to sort of be, I'm going to be the network. That's what I'm going to be.
And the production was this way, very, very fast-paced. There was fights after fights. Like, obviously with the last two boxing fights, Nike will take his boxing to go to sleep at night. It was talking for 2 hours, and then the
fucking
fight,
brutal. Brutal. Try to sit through a live boxing show. Try and do it. Show up to the first fight and try and do it. Yes, if you notice, the pace of the show moves fast. The matchmaking is real. Even Callum Walsh, who Freddie Roach believes in a lot and is a prospect right now, they threw him in there with a real fight. This kid was 13-1, 9 knockouts, turned it into a street fight at the end, and these are the kind of fights that you'll see in that promotion, and that's what I love about it. I love the pace, matchmaking, and everything else about it. He's got a lot of good up-and-coming talent. The other thing you don't see a lot, you always get this in the boxing world, you get the big fish in a small pond type stuff. They never go outside. You got East Coast versus West Coast. That's the type of stuff you're going to see on Fight Pass with 360 Promotions and Tom Loeffler.
Awesome. And one more question for me. And we saw you sitting next to Triple H. How's the relationship been with TKO, and how's been working with Vince McMahon and Triple H? Maybe some cross-pollination like Pride did with New Japan Pro Wrestling?
No. Listen, if there's something there, like Ronda going over there, like Brock coming over here, if that, whether we were with them or not, if that was the case, we would do that stuff. But the relationship has been incredible. Vince has been an amazing partner. I always like Triple H and Stephanie. So we're having a good time with those guys.
So you're saying that there's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon? Is that correct?
What's that?
There's not going to be a Battle of the Billionaires 2 between Dana White and Vince McMahon at WrestleMania.
It's all over. We're buddies now. Now we're friends.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dana down here to your right.
Yep.
In the 12 years since John Jones claimed the light heavyweight title, you've seen many a prospect who's been touted as the potential man to beat him. Now, I know there's still a lot that has to happen in terms of John and Stipe, but if John does stick around after that, how do you rate Tom Aspinall's chances of beating him in comparison to the other fighters of previous time?
Well, let's see how John heals. Let's see how he looks when he comes back from this injury. Obviously, he's going to fight Stipe. Let's see how that goes. And then, John Jones is so good. I mean, you can doubt him. You can this, you can that. You can not like him. The guy's never lost a fight. He moved up to heavyweight, made it look really easy. I don't know the answer to that. I got to see how everything sort of plays out.
And how big do you think it is now? We've obviously previously had two UK champions in Leon Edwards and Michael Bisping. How big is it having a heavyweight champion? I know it's interim, but still.
No, it's huge. I mean, listen, whenever you get a heavyweight champion from anywhere, you know what I mean, outside the country, it's a big deal. And to have a heavyweight champion in the UK who is a bad dude and legit, and everybody around him claims that he's that good, and he's a great guy, great personality. It's a home run.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Dana, right down the middle
Dana
here.
Over here. Tom was talking to us earlier this week about the heavyweight division. He sees kind of a golden age coming, a new golden age for heavyweight MMA. You know, more athletic guys that can do a lot more. They're not kind of plotting and maybe like the way maybe we saw in different generations before. What's your take on his thoughts on that?
I don't understand the question.
What do you see as far as the heavyweight division right now? Like in the future, like in the next like 5 to 10 years kind of thing. Do you see different heavyweights now than maybe we saw in past generations?
Well, you're gonna. Yeah, I mean, if that's not the case, we're in trouble. The sport keeps evolving, the athletes keep evolving, and Aspinall is amazing. He looked great. He's got a chin too. He ate a couple shots tonight, and and like I was just saying with this gentleman over here, we have a heavyweight champion from the UK, so it's awesome.
Now, do you really want to keep him on the shelf for as much as maybe a year for Jones and Miocic to kind of sort things out, or are you gonna maybe have to start considering other options in the interim?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I talked about that earlier. We'll see what happens, you know what I mean? Like I said, he's got some money, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question yet.
You guys love to come to the Garden. Obviously, November is your time of the year. Have you guys ever considered, or are you considering maybe 2 times in the coming years at all?
Yeah, the thing is, too, when you come to the Garden, you want to bring your A game. You want to bring the right fight. We'll probably be back the end of next year, and we'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4.
And you guys have, obviously, you've got a relationship now with James Dolan because
over the next 3 years, we'll end up being the top 10.
You've got this relationship now with James Dolan. You've been working with him for many years here. He's got the Sphere, of course. You guys have that going on now, too. Is that something you guys have ever talked about? Is there more interest on their end to get more?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. They'd have us here every weekend if we could. And, yes, I have a great relationship with Dolan. And, I've been terrorizing him about the Sphere. And we got it done, so I'm excited.
Dana, right down the middle here. Nate Diaz was in attendance tonight. I'm just curious if you got the opportunity to speak with him, and I guess kind of where does his relationship with you stand since he left the promotion? You guys?
No, I didn't see him tonight, but he called like 2 days ago and seeing if he could get some tickets. And of course, he can have tickets. This is his house. He can come back whenever he wants to. But we haven't talked about any fights or anything like that.
Gotcha. So no business talk since the Jake Paul thing?
No.
Dana, there were some rumors a little bit ago about the Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira rematch, which were kind of quickly dismissed by Ali and the management team. Is that still the plan going forward to have that rematch? And if so, when would that be?
Eventually, but Volkanovski's... you're talking about Volkanovski? Oh, yeah.
Makhachev and Oliveira.
Yeah, no. We don't have anything right now. Maybe in the summer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Dana,
that was
here.
never a fight, by the way. That was announced. That was never a fight.
Dan over here, right next to him. The co-main event was for the interim heavyweight title, and we're preparing for Jones versus Miocic. But the original plan that we all wanted, was John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. Obviously, that didn't work out. I've seen in boxing that there's a lot of cross-promotion in the divisions, whether you see people from Top Rank going to Showtime or anything of that nature. Is there an opportunity for you to cross-promote with the PFL for, say, a Jones and Ngannou fight, and is there anything specifically stopping that from happening?
Is there any way to stop it from happening?
Is there anything that's stopping that specific fight or a specific cross-promotion with the PFL from happening?
No, I'm not interested in that. We tried to make that fight. They didn't want to do it, and it's done. He doesn't fight here anymore. I'm not interested.
So no fights with the PFL just in general?
Should I?
Possibilities.
We got 1, 2, and 3. They can't sell a fucking gate. Oh, talk to me.
And Dana,
it's a stupid question, but go ahead. Talk to me. Why would I do that? I tried to make the fight here. They didn't want to do it, but I should co-promote with like a Bellator or a PFL. Why should I do that? Talk to me.
I guess it's just, a partnership with ESPN or anything like that, just in general, with just co-promoting an MMA to make, MMA fans happy, just for everyone to be involved with each other.
What? Because of ESPN?
As a partnership, yes.
You win the dumb question of the night. Congratulations, sir. What did you want to say? Did you want to chime? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg tore his ACL a couple of days ago. He was training for an MMA fight, but he's still super into the UFC. He wants to come back and compete. What's it like having somebody like Mark be into the UFC? He was into this fight tonight. He was into the Volkan Islam fight. What's it like having somebody with his influence be into the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of influential people that are into the UFC, and it's always a good thing. I mean, it's never a bad thing. But yes, Zuckerberg is obsessed. I mean, he's so obsessed he blew his ACL out training like a maniac. But yeah, it's awesome. I have a very good relationship with Zuckerberg. He loves the sport, and yes, the answer is yes. Having somebody like Mark Zuckerberg love the sport is incredible.
Dana, just wondering, I know you touched on it a little bit, but let's just say if like a fan approaches you tomorrow and they said that they heard Alex say, Adesanya, come to daddy, and they want to see that fight again, just what would you say to someone that's really hoping to see those two get in the octagon?
Listen, anything is possible. I mean, Alex moved up a weight class. I don't see Izzy moving up a weight class. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people do want to see it again. I don't know the answer to that question yet. We'll see when Izzy comes back, what he wants to do, where his head is. I mean, if you look at what he's accomplished in his time here too, whatever he wanted to do, if he wanted to move up and fight Pereira again, we'd probably do it. Probably give him a fight at that weight first if he wins, and then give him a shot at Pereira. I don't know. I wouldn't say that we would never do it.
Dana, right back here. 2024 is coming up. What percentage of, or a rough percentage of the fight nights do you think will be on the road and not in the Apex?
What's the question?
What percentage of fight nights in 2024 will be on the road and not at Apex?
I don't know. You hate the Apex?
No. I just like the road.
All right, sir. What publication do you write for?
740 The Fan out of Fargo, North Dakota.
He writes for who?
North Dakota. 740 The Fan?
Yes.
740 The Fan, North Dakota.
Yes.
What's your name, sir?
Josh Linus.
You better be at every fucking fight night.
I would love to be.
That happens next year.
I would love to be. You
Okay.
be on the road, I'll be there.
No matter where we do a fight night, you better be there.
Sounds good.
Deal.
Dana.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira won 2 belts at Madison Square Garden. Is there any chance of him defending this belt in Brazil in the next time?
Hell yes, he will. I've been talking to you guys a lot about Brazil. We're in a big rebuilding phase down in Brazil right now. And obviously, having another champion now is a big deal. Popular guy. So, yeah, tonight was definitely a big night for Brazil.
In the stadium, soccer stadium. In a soccer stadium.
Soccer stadium. Okay. You guys all want stadium shows, huh? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Thank you.
French market, one question. French market.
Last one here.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Dana, Benoit Saint-Denis strongly believes there's a threshold, glass ceiling, with the top 5 in the lightweight division. He wants to break it. On the team, we think he's probably a fight away from breaking into that top 5. Some think it's 2, so I want you to cut it out. How far is he away from fighting the likes of Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier? BSD, Benoit Saint-Denis.
Yeah, Benoit thinks he could break into the top 5. How close do you think he is to that? How many fights does he have?
Yeah, where's he at now? What's his ranking now? He's
Well, he wasn't ranked, but I'm thinking he's going way better than what Frivola was ranked at 14.
Well, first of all, great question to ask in this room. All the people in this room make that decision, not me. And he just beat Frivola, who's ranked number 14. So you beat 14. Maybe if the media thinks that he's, he beat 14 easily. He made it look easy. Maybe he goes to 10 on Tuesday. I don't. I mean, that would be a big jump. But maybe he goes to 10. But
what matters to us is number 10 can fight number 2 and number 3 pretty soon.
What's that?
Can the ranked number 10 fight number 2 or number 3 pretty soon?
Oh, would we put him in a fight with number 2 or number 3?
That's right.
Sure. Are you his agent? Huh? You his agent?
Proud Frenchness, you know that.
French pride. French pride.
Proud Frenchman. I love it, man. Hey, listen, this is how it works. I love it. You know, this is how you get a guy that explodes in a country or a region or whatever it is. And yeah, so on Tuesday, most of the people in this room and the media will determine where he ranks in that division, and we'll see. And then we'll get back into matchmaking, see when he's ready to turn around. And you know what I believe we could do? I believe we could go to France and headline him, you know, on a card there. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's exciting. I'm happy about it, and it's going to be fun. We'll see. Thank you. You guys done? Yeah? Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Check, check. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey. Good.
You can bring the pizza up.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time.
You can bring the pizza up. Don't worry about that guy. You can bring the pizza up. It's all right.
Well, Tom, congratulations. Obviously, been kind of a whirlwind 2.5 weeks, I imagine, for you. I mean, have you even had a chance to process what exactly just unfolded for you?
No. Simply no. I think this will take a while to sink in, to be honest. It's been an absolutely crazy 2.5 weeks. I've been saying, I can tell people now, I basically didn't have any training camp at all. I wasn't really in the best shape. I got the call like 3-4 days after. I pulled my back really bad. I couldn't barely even move or do anything. And yeah, it's been some, and I didn't have a visa as well. It's been some 3 weeks. Let me tell you, it's been absolutely insane.
So pre-fight at the press conference, I loved what you said. Like, I knew that, I couldn't win this thing by sitting on the couch. So I said yes. But given all the circumstances that you were facing, like, was there any part of you inside that was like, this is dumb? Like, I probably shouldn't be doing this.
Yep. That was my exact thoughts when I was sat in the locker room tonight. I was like, what am I doing? But to be honest, I get this a lot. Like, too many people in this game, I think, and in life in general, I'm not trying to be like a philosopher, but like, hide away from fear. Like, they try and be like, oh, I'm not scared. I openly admit that I'm scared and I'm going to do it anyway. Like, that's when I do my best. Like, look, when Sergei whacked me with the overhand right, my mouthpiece started to come out. Like, that's when I do my best work. When a big scary guy's coming at me like that, like, that's when I'm at my absolute best. And I embrace fear, like, with open arms, and I'm happy to be scared and perform like that.
Well, it was a great performance, and the emotion that came out of you, I mean, immediately, I was like, you could see the realization when you knocked back. Can you just remember, like, kind of what was going through your head at that point, how hard you've worked to get where you are, and what was it at that moment?
Oh, it's just absolutely insane. Yeah, it was just like, sorry, burping. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, it was just flashbacks to the last. I'm a lifelong martial artist, My dad got me into this stuff when I was like 8 years old. To be honest, it's always difficult for me to tell when I started off martial arts because my dad was so into it. I've just always been in the gym. Like, I just used to, like, I was a shy kid. I didn't have, like, too many friends or nothing. So I just go to the gym just because I had nothing else to do. I didn't even train. I was just sat around, kicking a football around and just chilling. And I do a couple of techniques and I go off again. And so, but to answer the question, I've been involved with this crazy martial arts journey for most of my life, and everything just flashed through my mind before my eyes. It was absolutely insane and an emotion that it's difficult to get to grips with.
That's awesome. Last thing for me, I know you're going to want to take some time to just enjoy this, but have you started thinking about what's next? Because it seems like it's kind of a weird picture, right? Dana was here earlier, and he says, we still got to do John and Stipe. So I asked him, would Tom defend the interim title? He's like, I don't know. He's got some money. He'll sit around. Have you started mapping it out, like what you would like to do now?
No, I've not really thought about that, to be honest. I didn't think about anything like that before this fight at all. Like, I was aware of what I was up against tonight with Sergei. This is a guy that I know personally because I'm involved in these circles kind of at the top of the division. Nobody wants to fight that guy. Cut all bullshit aside, nobody wants to fight that guy. There's champions turning him down. So I knew what I was up against tonight, and I couldn't think past Sergei. So the guy's an absolute machine. And right now, I just want to chill for a bit, man. To be honest, we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I want to fight John Jones.
Tom, over here to your right, if I could. You were on vacation, Dana tells us, right?
Nearly.
So where were you?
I've got a little place in Wales. It's driving distance, but I've just bought a little place in Wales, which is like a holiday home, we call it in the UK. So I just go there with the family sometimes. So we had a little trip planned over there and didn't make it. Another one I've missed. I'm the worst vacation guy ever. I never seem to make it.
So how was your wife when you did that and you told her that you had to leave the vacation?
Yeah, she's not that happy, but she's used to it. If I didn't have her, I'd be. That's some of your biggest issues is your close circle to being successful, and she's very on board, as are the rest of my close friends and family. So I'm very, very lucky in that regard.
What did you do to get your back in the kind of, because I know backs are really bad when you're hurting. What did you do specifically to get yourself back in condition so that you could fight?
It's still bad. It's still not great. I I've just been getting massages, seeing the chiropractor, and getting in the ice bath, getting in the jacuzzi, all the rest of the stuff. But to be honest with you, it's still not the best. I'm going to have to get it treated properly when I go home.
When Sergei hit you with that punch early, and you know, the mouthpiece, and you kind of wobbled there a little bit, anything go through your head like, you know, I have to be careful, or any thought about the way the fight was going to play out?
No, it's all happening a bit faster, kind of think, all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm obviously aware he's got massive punches. And because I was so nervous, like, I started off the fight not very well. Like, I wasn't moving really well at first. And that's happened in fights before, you know, but never against a guy like that dangerous. So, yeah, he hit me with the shot. The mouthpiece started to come out a little bit. I kind of readjusted the mouthpiece on the fly. And I think that he thought he hurt me with the shot, but he didn't. So then I started cutting angles, coming back in and landing my shots, which is, you don't want to stand flat-footed and trade with a guy like that. That's why all my punches were off the angle and with the calf kicks and stuff.
And then the last thing I wanted to ask you, you win the title in your 8th fight, which is an amazing accomplishment, and the guy that fought after you won his 2nd title in his 7th UFC fight. And I wonder, just as an athlete watching somebody do that, like, can you just comment on what the significance of what Alex just did by winning a light heavyweight title and a middleweight title in the last year, and doing that all in that short period of time?
Yeah, it's fantastic, and obviously he's got a long kickboxing career as well. The guy is an absolute machine. Very scary human being also, like Sergei Pavlovich. I don't think I've ever seen him smile this week, so I'm quite scared of him as well. Hopefully I won't have to fight him one day. But yeah, he's amazing. I'm a big fan of his. I'm a big fan of Jiri's as well. Also another scary guy, another wild guy. I'm going to have to watch that fight back, obviously. I've not had a chance to see it myself yet. But yeah, they're both two great guys.
Tom, you've made no secret of how much your father has meant to your journey. And I know that your dream was always to give him that belt. But when actually getting to do that in the octagon, actually physically doing the thing you dreamed about for so long, what's that experience?
Oh, mate, it gets me emotional thinking about it. There's been a million people involved in this career, not just my dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got such an amazing team around me now of heavyweights. It's fantastic. But I've trained at so many gyms over the years, all at this point near enough all over the world. Do you know what I mean? I've started training in Team Carbon when I was like 14. Then I've boxed with like the Furies for years. Now we've got the heavyweight team going, and I go over to Holland to train with Rico Verhoeven and stuff, and I'm part of their team. And not only that, I've been numerous boxing gyms, numerous strength and conditioning people, all kinds of different stuff. Like, I've done it, and I just hope that not just my dad, but everybody who's been a small part of that can look at him and be like, I'm proud of him. Like, that makes me really, to make someone who's proud of me, who's been part of my journey. And because I respect everybody so much, you know what I mean? All the training partners, all the support, all the coaches from different gyms and different disciplines. Like, I respect everybody so much. And for somebody to look at me and be like, I was part of that journey and I'm really proud of him, that absolutely means the world to me.
You know, there was a time where you would sit in front of us and tell us, like, oh, I'm kind of nervous to fight in front of a sellout crowd. I've never done that. I might not be any good at it. And then tonight, you come out, you win the world title, you walk out the cage. Michael Bisping's there to grab you and say congratulations. Can you put into words your own personal growth? Like, being this guy who, you know, you're self-deprecating, and then being able to get in there, knock out the scariest guy in the division, and prove to yourself you're the best in the world.
Yeah, it's pretty trippy, mate, when I do my little crouch down thing that I do before the fight. I look to the side of Sergei's head, and I see Donald Trump's head looking back at me. It's pretty trippy scenes over there. But yeah, it sounds like corny and stuff, and I don't want to be that guy. But sometimes you just got to believe in yourself, you know. And things start shifting around you to make it work. It's really bizarre. People like all these fighters, all these champions, like, the friends of mine, they're close friends. They're not just like people I look up to. They're actually my friends, and they give me advice. And it just means the absolute world to me that anyone would look at me and be like, I'm proud of him. Honestly, that really makes me happy.
Last one for me. I know you said that you kind of want to take some time, and John Jones is the target, but Cyril Gane's calling you out, says he wants to fight you.
Oh, that's interesting. After I just called him out, went to France, and he turned the fight down.
Any interest?
I think he should fight Almeida. I think them guys should fight each other first and see what happens there.
Right.
All right, so
I have to ask about that. When you guys put your hands on each other's shoulders at the beginning of the fight, did you know that he would reciprocate, or what went into that? Because we don't normally see that before heavyweight title.
No, I didn't know anything. I respect him as a person, as an athlete. I respect all my opponents, whether I like them or not is kind of irrelevant to me. Like, this is a sport. I treat it as a sport. I don't hate anybody. I don't, I have love for everybody. I told him after the fight that I love him and I'm sorry and hope he gets back and all that kind of stuff. And I respect him before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. Opponents are irrelevant to me. Like, they're just a person that I'm fighting. It doesn't mean anything to me. I don't have to hate anybody.
Considering the short nature of the short notice nature of this fight, is he a guy you think you'll see again down the road at some point?
I think so, definitely. I believe he's like 31 years old. I'm 30 years old. We've both got another at least 5 years at this thing. And believe me when I tell you, he's going to knock everybody else out in the division. So we're going to go again.
Do you think you're the best heavyweight in the world?
Yes.
Considering that you said Sergei was the scariest fighter in the division, and we saw what you did to him in essentially no training camp, do you now think you take that moniker as the scariest guy in this division?
Don't know. I'm very friendly, so I'm not sure. Very, very nice man and friendly, but I think when that octagon door closes, I can do things that other heavyweights can't. Simple as that. Simple as that. My mind is so different, and I see shots that other people don't see. I make decisions that other people can't make, and you might look on the outside and think, this guy's got holes in his game plan. You jump in and let's have a go and see how you get on.
You just said that you make, here in the center,
sorry,
you make decisions and you hit shots that others can't see. You won the fight off of a pair of left rights back to back. Was that something, again, you saw, or was it just maybe just a matter of trying to get fast hands on him, or what?
It's just reactive. That's just like a testament to my training. I've been training since I was, as I just said, 8 years old, and when I see a shot, I'll throw it, and when I don't see a shot, I won't throw it. And I believe I hit him with like a stepping over left hook and a right hand, and then maybe a 1-2 after. I'm not sure. I'd have to watch it back. I've been in this, not this sport, but I've been in martial arts a long time, and we've done plenty drills over the years with my dad and stuff like that, and with all the other coaches who've been involved, where my reactions are super fast. My eyes are super good. We still drill stuff with the eyes every day now. It's just, practice.
Without giving away too much, what is your favorite reaction eye drill?
Reaction eye drill? So my dad's got like a little gym in his garage for the American people over there.
Thank you for the translation.
No problem. And for years now, my dad's been like got these tennis balls, and he's just like launching them at my head, and I've got to like move the head out of the way. And I'll tell you what, it's paid off tonight, though, hasn't it, Dad? That was pretty good. I don't want to get hit with a tennis ball, so I definitely won't want to get hit by Sergei Pavlovich. So, yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot of that kind of stuff. We do a lot of different training, and I've done so many unorthodox training stuff with my dad in the garage over the years, and it's all top secret stuff, though, so I don't want to give too much away.
Tom back here.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Congratulations on the win, by the way.
Thank you.
I think chance taking is the family business, would you say, considering that your dad quit his job to train you, and you take a fight on short notice and win the world championship? Is there a piece of advice that he gave you at the very beginning when he started training you that he had to believe in? He believed in you enough to quit his job to train you, and now you believe in yourself enough to take these risks and chances. But is there a piece of advice or a quote that he gave you that has always stuck with you throughout your training?
It's difficult to say with my dad because we've been through hundreds of thousands of hours of conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's not just in the gym. It's the drive to the gym. It's the drive back. It's in the gym. It's at home. It's on the travel to fights. It's going to competitions as a kid every weekend. And there's a million things that he's told me, but the most important thing he tells me every single time is just enjoy yourself. Just do you. Just enjoy yourself. And that's what I always try to do.
And one more question for me. Obviously, the Great Britain market, the UK market is awesome with combat sports. And how does it feel to take back the title to your home? And you know it's going to be a party back there.
Absolutely unbelievable. I can't wait for that. But right now I'm going to enjoy tonight. But I think we should do Tom Aspinall versus John Jones in Manchester. That that is something special, and I'm sure the UFC are going to be on board with that. That would be special.
Dana said he did want to bring it back to the UK, so it could happen.
There we go.
Congratulations, champ.
Thank you.
Tom, down here to you, right? Dana was just in here before, and he just said that he's open to the idea of doing a stadium. Now, obviously, the historical one would be Wembley, and I know you said that you're just taking it in right now, but now that I put that prospect to you, and maybe, I know Manchester would be perfect for you, but what about yourself, John Jones, at Wembley?
Absolutely incredible. Also, it doesn't have to be Manchester, but I think that if we do the greatest fighter of all time versus the UK heavyweight champion of the UFC, the UK heavyweight, you know what I mean? The UK guy who's the world champion. That would, in the UK, that would be absolutely insane. Like, let's do it. Absolutely.
And John has kind of gone on record and basically said that the Stipe fight might be his last fight. And I think he said that because, he's been like down the years. He needs someone to excite him. Do you think that performance that you just put in there would excite him and get him up for one more?
How could it not? I don't think I did much wrong for him to be like, that's an easy fight. I think if I hit anybody square in the face, they're going to go to sleep. Simple as that. And John knows that. And that's no disrespect to John. I absolutely love John. Like, he's one of my favourite fighters of all time. I absolutely look up to him, but I want to fight him, and I think I can win.
And you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what were the first words that you said to your dad, Andy?
I can't remember. I was just in a world of absolute madness.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Tom, right here. This was kind of a star-making performance from you tonight. When this kind of happens, life can change a lot. People come out of the woodwork. They want things from you. They want to be your friend, all that stuff. How do you plan on handling that kind of change that may come from people around you?
I've been experiencing that a little bit over the years, do you know what I mean? But we keep a tight circle. Simple as that. Anyone who's not on the... Well, I used to say before tonight, anyone who's not helping me become the best in the world, I'm not going to be around them. But I'm the best in the world now. So we keep a tight ship. I'm happy with the people I've got around me. Absolutely incredible people. Each and every day I enjoy. Each and every day, I'm spending time with people I love and who care about me, and I love them back. It's not like... they're not just sucking up to me because I'm doing well in my career. Like, we're all friends. We've got family members involved. There's all kinds going on. But I'm really happy with the people I've got around me right now. I don't need anybody new.
Yeah, and one of those people who's shown you a lot of love, I know you touched on it a little bit, was Michael Bisping. You guys kind of embraced when you were leaving the cage. How much has his support meant to you through this process?
It's meant a lot to me. I used to go watch Bisping and sit up in the nosebleeds before he even knew I existed, like for a good few times. I remember going watching Bisping against Chris Lieben in Birmingham. I don't know what year that was, but it was fucking ages ago.
2008, I think.
It was 2008, yeah, so I would have been 15 years old then. Do you know what I mean? And we saved up and sat in the nosebleeds to watch Bisping. So me and Bisping now are good friends. He's an absolute idol of mine. I look up to him as a person and as a fighter, and I just love what he's doing. Bisping is just such a great guy, and yeah, I got a lot of respect for Bisping.
Congrats, man. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Tom in the front.
Yes, hello.
Down the middle here. Tom, did you get the chance to talk to your? I know it's really early in the morning at home, but did you get the chance to talk to your wife? And
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
My dad tried to call her, but she didn't pick up. So I don't think she knows yet. I'm not sure.
So there was no plans for her to, or the kids even.
No, absolutely not. And my oldest kid now, he's 7, so he started realizing a little bit what's going on, and he actually watched Pavlovich and was like, "It's going to be a tough one, Dad." He's like, he goes a lot off rankings because he doesn't know, like, the rankings definitely stand for something, but he knew that Pavlovich was ranked number 1 and I was ranked number 4. He was like, "Oh, this guy's number 1. You have to be careful here, Dad. This is," and then he started telling me a game plan, and then he said, "You got to remember it though. Make sure you remember it." I was like, "Yeah, will do." He said, "You're gonna have to write it down, Dad. You're gonna have to write it down and take it with you." It's like, all right, but I'm sure he'll be happy when he finds out.
Well, what was the game plan?
Not what I did. No, the game plan was like use my movement, use the calf kicks, which were working really well. Don't square up with him, let him come straight on, which I did okay, to be fair. To be honest with you, I was really nervous in there. I and I couldn't get my movement going well straight away. I felt like I started a little bit slow in comparison to normal, but I'm not complaining. We got the win.
Was that because of the back, the movement going?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know if it's the back or the back's actually all right now. It's not as bad as it was. I don't want to milk it. It was quite bad, but it's all right now. But I was just nervous, man. To be honest, I was very scared backstage.
I understand you felt like you maybe owed your family a vacation, a holiday,
Yep.
because of the interruption of everything with this. Might they expect a greater holiday, maybe something more special because
Absolutely,
of the champion?
they deserve everything, and I've been away so much lately, with fighting and training and traveling, and I've just not been at home much. So I need to spend some time there for a little bit and make it up to him.
And the last one for me, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be waiting for John Jones, you might be waiting a while because he may not come back till, who knows, summer, could be
Yep.
later than that. Is that something you're prepared to do, wait even more, as much as a year or more to get you
No,
to fight?
I don't want to wait a year. I definitely don't want to wait a year. But I think that me and Jones is the fight to make, to be honest. So if I have to wait a year, I will. Like, that's the fight that I really, really want. And I think that me and John in the UK, that's just a dream for everybody. At the UFC, fans, everybody will love that. So that's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah. Tom, just over here. Congratulations on an amazing KO victory. Tom Aspinall is now the interim heavyweight champion from Manchester, England. Do you have a message to your fans back home?
It just means more to me than anyone will ever know, to be honest. Yeah, I just appreciate it a lot. Like, where I'm from is very important to me. But not only that, I got so much love here as well. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. Everyone's just been so nice, and it goes a long way. And I really, really appreciate everybody and anybody who's even wished me good luck or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Showed support in any kind of way. It absolutely means the world to me. And I'd love to thank everyone individually, but obviously I can't. And just means the absolute world.
Tom, right down the middle here. While you were sitting up there about 5 minutes ago, John Jones tweeted about you.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
It's a nice tweet. He said, "Congratulations on the interim heavyweight championship belt. That was an awesome performance." So to hear that from him, the guy that many consider to be the greatest fighter of all time and a prospective future opponent of yours, I guess, how does that feel?
I've seen John talking nice stuff about me on a podcast as well. It's really nice. Obviously, it's always nice to hear nice things about you, but from someone like that who I massively look up to, even more so. Yeah, thank you, John. And just give me the opportunity, John. Let me do it. Give me my dream fight. Why not? I've just achieved my dream now. Give me my dream fight. Let me fight for my legacy now, please.
And Tom, just on to your left, can you actually explain this week now in terms of Atherton to Times Square, your face lighting up, and then now you're the interim heavyweight champ of the UFC? Because not many people do things like that from the Northwest, so it's just incredible.
Didn't know you were coming, mate. It's nice to see you here. You
Cheers,
blended in there. We got Manchester in the house. It's lovely. That's excellent. Yeah, mate, it means the absolute world. As I said, where I'm from is extremely important to me. Just everything about it. I just love the whole northern culture and just everything. Just everything. And I just hope people are proud of me, man. I feel like I've done a big thing, at least in my life, and I hope that people can look at it and get some kind of inspiration from it. Do you know what I mean? It's as people from the Northwest, we're not told we can do stuff. We're always suppressed, I feel. Luckily enough, I've got amazing parents, and I wasn't, but I hope I can be that guy who's someone is starting out in martial arts and is like, he's from the same place I'm from. I can do it as well. If I can do that a little bit, that's mission accomplished.
Tom, congrats, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Alex, congratulations on the victory tonight. I guess, can you just put into words what this means to already be the champion of a second division this early in your UFC career?
Alex, parabéns aí para a sua grande vitória hoje à noite. Coloca pra gente aí o que significa para você estar vencendo a sua segunda divisão na sua vida.
Bom, significa muito para mim, né? Esse é o resultado de um trabalho bem feito nesses longos anos, né? E, pô, essa conquista agora, pô, claro, sempre difícil, né? Mas muito importante. É onde eu consigo, né, mostrar um pouco para as pessoas, né, que às vezes não acreditam num sonho, não acreditam onde pode chegar, né? Todo mundo sabe assim da minha história, sair de onde eu saí, né? Chegar onde eu cheguei, conquistando o mundo agora, né? E eu acho que tudo é possível, né? Então estou mostrando isso. Eu acho que é muito importante, né, mostrar isso.
It means a lot to me to be able to conquer this after so many years of training and dedication, and also it's very important for me to be able to show to everybody, you know what I mean? Everybody know where I came from, my humble beginnings. So to get here and achieve this is a big achievement for me.
Very nice. Jiri, obviously notoriously kind of wild, difficult to predict, unique. How did you find being in there with him? Was it more challenging maybe than you thought?
Pô, devido ao estilo dele, né? Ser um cara mais diferente, do jeito que ele se move e tudo, meio único. Como é que você achou estar lá dentro com ele?
Bom, eu sempre pensei isso, né? Que era a luta perfeita para mim. Claro, sabendo que, pô, ia ser difícil, ia ser uma guerra ali. Mas o estilo dele ali, pô, favorecia, né, pro meu estilo. Então, não fiquei assim surpreso, né? Eu fiquei um pouco surpreso porque eu achei que ele iria atacar um pouco mais e seria mais agressivo. Mas eu tava ali achando a distância, né? E, pô, consegui achar a distância e conectei os golpes bons nele.
Well, I was not that surprised. You know what I mean? I knew this was going to be a good fight for me. Maybe a little surprised to find the distance a little bit at first, but then I found myself in the fight. I knew he was going to make a mistake.
Yes. Jiri himself said there's no controversy, but the stoppage was a little weird. I guess, what did you see during the stoppage, and do you feel confident that it was stopped at the right time?
O Jiri mesmo fala que foi certo, ele não tá contestando do jeito que pararam, mas parece que foi talvez meio cedo. O que você tem a dizer sobre a luta, sobre o jeito que o juiz parou?
Bom, eu posso falar, né, que, pô, eu tava ali, pô, conectando os golpes e sentindo a pressão ali, né, quando eu conectei aqueles dois golpes ali em pé, e ele veio para as pernas ali para tentar agarrar, né, porque ele tava sentindo já. Pô, eu comecei a lhe bater, depois das cotoveladas nele, eu vi o corpo dele, pô, amolecendo ali em cima das minhas pernas e, pô, deu no que vocês viram e, pô, claro, tem as pessoas que gostam dele, tava torcendo por ele. Com certeza vão falar algo, mas, pô, ele já é o cara que tava sentindo as porradas e ele, pô, falou que foi correto.
No, man, he was feeding those punches. I felt he was feeding those, and then when he got in, he got connected to the left hook and then the cross. Once he dropped on my legs, which he was not like getting a takedown, but he actually fell. I start punching, I start feeling that he was a little bit fading away. And I think it was a good stoppage. I know maybe his friends and his supporters, his people, his fans, gonna maybe try to say that was not, but I think it was the correct way.
Nice. Last thing for me, you mentioned the name Adesanya again. Dana was here earlier and he said, look, Jamal Hill's next. Is that a fight that you welcome, and what do you think of Jamal as an opponent?
Bom, por último aí, né, sobre a Adesanya, você acha que é uma luta certa para você, e sobre o Jamal também?
O Adesanya eu falei ali em cima, né? Pô, foi um cara que, assim, me motivou muito a fazer o que eu fiz, né, aqui dentro da organização. E, poxa, acho que eu devo algo para ele e eu acho que com essa ideia dele de estar esse tempo, né, dando uma pausa aí, eu acho que, pô, muitas pessoas querem ver ele lutar, né, para ele mostrar o talento que ele tem e, pô, eu acho que eu vou conseguir fazer ele voltar antes.
No, I meant what I said over there. You know what I mean? I think I owe this to Adesanya. He motivated me at first, and I think, you know, the whole thing about him staying all this time, 2027, and I think it's a waste of talent. So I think many people try, but I think I'll be able to bring him back.
Poitin, eu falei agora há pouco, fiz uma pergunta para o Dana White, se ele gostaria de ver você defender o cinturão no Brasil, na sua próxima luta, num estádio de futebol. Esse é o seu desejo também?
Cara,
he just asked Dana White if he will be open to make a title defense for Alex in Brazil, and we asked him if this was his wish too.
Bom, pô, eu eu quero lutar, para mim não importa, né, aonde que eu vou lutar. Claro, pô, tô morando aqui, né, do lado de casa aqui, agora eu vou voltar para casa, vou gastar 1h30, né. Então, pô, isso para mim é muito bom, porque viajar é um pouco complicado. Claro que a gente quer dar um show para os fãs ali, pô, no Brasil, né, querendo ver uma luta ali ao vivo, né, e, pô, isso seria muito bom, mas é aquilo, cara, fica à disposição da organização, onde eles acharem que tem que me colocar, eu vou lutar.
Well, it really don't matter to me, even though it's much more convenient to fight here because it's about an hour and a half from my house, so you know what I mean. It's much easier than have to move the whole team somewhere, but that's up to the organization.
É bem provável que o Jamahal Hill seja o seu próximo adversário. O fato dele ter vencido o Glover te dá um combustível a mais para vencer essa luta?
It's most likely that Jamal Hill is going to be your next opponent. The fact that he already defeated Glover is something that fuel you a little more for this fight.
Muitas pessoas, né, os repórteres me perguntaram, né, agora que eu ia, para vingar o Glover e tal contra o Jiri, e eu deixei bem claro que eu não levo assim emoção para dentro do octógono, porque para mim não fugir ali do que eu quero fazer, né, do todo planejado, todo treinamento, né, não ser jogado fora, né, claro, eu gosto muito do Glover, né, mas luta é luta, né, eu poderia ter perdido ali, mas, eu saí com a vitória.
Like I spoke to other reporters, they asked too, I don't know if he'll be able to be ready on time or not, and has, you know, when it comes down to revenge, the same as on this fight, you know what I mean, everything can happen over there, I came with the loss, but nothing personal.
E a minha última agora. Você foi o lutador a conquistar 2 cinturões com menos lutas no UFC. Você agora tem várias defesas que deve fazer e tal, se continuar vencendo nessa categoria. Você pensa em algum dia, por acaso, lutar nos pesos pesados para tentar ser o único da história do UFC com 3 cinturões?
You're the first fighter to win on 2 different weight classes in such a small amount of fights. Let's say everything doing fine, you defend the belt a few times. Fighting a heavyweight is something that you have in mind.
Bom, desde quando eu estava no peso médio, sempre essa pergunta se eu ia subir pro meio pesado, e eu falava que eu não tinha planos, mas quando o meu corpo me avisasse que eu tinha que subir, eu iria fazer isso, e foi o que eu fiz. Tô com 36 anos de idade, né, eu não sei, né, daqui 2, 3 anos como é que vai ser, como o meu corpo vai estar, né, se meu corpo falar que eu tenho que subir, eu vou subir, eu tenho que lutar, mas eu não vejo isso agora, entendeu? Tá longe disso.
Since I was fighting middleweight, people already been asking me if I will fight a heavyweight, and I keep saying the same thing, that I'll have to listen to my body. I'm 36 years old now, I don't know how far can I still fight, so right now my focus is just this.
Alex, I wanted to ask you, when you made the decision to go to MMA from kickboxing, what factored into that, and did you have to humble yourself? You know, you're kind of starting over again in a new sport.
Quando você começou a sua transição para o MMA, apesar de ser um cara muito experiente já no kickboxing, você teve que ficar humilde e começar bem quase do zero para começar no MMA?
Bom, no MMA eu comecei em 2015, né? Mas não estava focado ali porque eu tinha planos no kickboxing, mas eu já tinha começado a fazer algo, né? E quando eu cheguei na academia do Glover, eu adiantei muito, né? Esses treinos, me dediquei bastante e, migrei, né? Definitivamente para o MMA, então isso me deu mais condições para me estar treinando e evoluindo cada dia.
Well, I've been training MMA since 2015, but due to my kickboxing career, I had to focus more on that, put my whole focus on kickboxing. After I started helping Glover for his camps and start training at Glover's gym, I made a shift and, merged into MMA.
When you decided to switch over, did you believe that you could be this successful this quickly? I know you had confidence in yourself, but in terms of believing that you could be a champion as fast as you became, and almost a legend, you have beaten 4 UFC champions already in your career. Did you think it could come this fast when you first tried MMA?
Quando você começou no MMA, você imaginaria que um dia chegaria aqui como campeão duplo, né, campeão de 2 categorias e todo esse sucesso que você já teve?
Não imaginava, né? Falei também, quando eu comecei a treinar, né? Conheci a arte marcial, treinando ali já quase 5 anos ali treinando, e eu não sabia nem se eu ia conseguir viver do esporte, viver da luta, né? E claro, mas tinha pessoas que acreditavam e me incentivou e hoje eu tô aqui, né? Agora, né? Campeão aí de duas categorias, né? E é isso.
Man, I not even on that. Let's move back because on the beginning, I actually don't even know if I could support myself only as a fighter, if I could make a living out of that. But thanks to a lot of good people around me, kept me motivated, kept me boosting me. I'm here to champion two different weight classes.
Do you feel, my last question for you, Alex, do you feel like, Anderson Silva set a standard for fighters in Brazil with all the title defenses he made, but do you feel like the path you're on, you have a chance to be the greatest fighter ever from Brazil, given you've already won 2 titles and who knows what else you might be able to do in this sport?
Bom, o Anderson Silva meio que colocou padrão, né, de melhor lutador da história do Brasil com todas as defesas de título que ele teve e tudo mais. Né, você acha que você consegue, com tudo que você está fazendo e conquistando, sendo campeão em 2 categorias diferentes, ser o melhor lutador que já veio do Brasil?
Bom, eu não estou nem focado nisso, né? Pô, eu quero lutar. Eu vou estar continuando, fazendo o meu trabalho, né? Foi um trabalho bem feito. E eu não consigo decidir esse tipo de coisa. Mas eu vou estar fazendo o meu trabalho e as pessoas que são responsáveis por isso vão decidir, vão ver qual que é a colocação.
Well, I'm not really focusing on that. I'm focusing on just keep doing my job and fighting. You know what I mean? So it's not up to me. It's up to the people who make those records, who make that stuff to decide.
Alex, in front right here. A year ago, you said that the beating Israel Adesanya and claiming the middleweight title meant a little bit more than your Glory Championship. So I'm curious, where does this title win rank amongst all your other ones?
Um ano atrás, quando você foi campeão em cima do Adesanya, você falou que significava bem mais do que os títulos no Glória que você tinha. E agora, esse que você ganhou, onde que você coloca ele nas suas conquistas?
Bom, eu sempre falei, né? Sempre a minha próxima luta é a mais importante. Essa aqui, né? Foi a mais importante. Falei isso 2 dias atrás. Agora, quando eu parar de lutar, quando eu me aposentar, aí eu vou parar, né? Vou focar nisso e vou falar assim, pô, qual foi a última luta? Qual foi a luta mais difícil ou a mais importante? Então eu vou parar para pensar. Mas a minha luta mais importante vai ser a próxima.
Well, right now my biggest achievement is always my next fights. So the most important fights for me is always the next one. Once I retire, I'm going to look around. I'm going to take a real look at my career. I'm going to say, okay, this was the most important to me.
Will you get another UFC title tattooed on your arm?
Você vai fazer outro cinturão tatuado no seu braço?
Não, outro cinturão não, porque pô, tem que... Cinturão é o seguinte, tatuagem é o seguinte, tem que ter um tempo pra fazer. E agora eu quero treinar. Mas o que eu posso fazer é, para facilitar isso, eu fazer só colocar assim 2 vezes, né? E escrever, mas outro cinturão não, dá muito trabalho. Esse aqui ainda nem terminei, falta mais uma sessão. Eu vou terminar essa sessão para ficar bonito, mas outro cinturão não.
Well, not another belt because, it takes a while and I'm training, so there's a lot of sessions and stuff, but to speed up the process, I might put ×2 on each side, but I don't even finish this belt that I have on my arm, but maybe I put ×2 just to speed up and go with it.
Eu posso colocar 2 pedrinhas, né? Não é uma defesa, mas aí é 2 cinturões, as pessoas vão saber.
Or he put 2 little stones, 2 little jewels. Not so defensive, but people gonna know.
That's a good one. And I'm curious if you saw, Israel actually tweeted about, right after your interview, he posted a photo of you knocked out with a wig from the movie Frozen, and he said, let it go. So I'm curious if you see this and do you have a response to him?
Depois que você fez sua entrevista no octógono, o Israel postou uma foto de você nocauteado com a peruca da mina do Frozen, congelada, e escreveu pra você deixar pra trás. O que você tem sobre falar sobre isso? Ela ergou, tá no passado. Mano, larga isso aí, entendeu?
Não, mas eu fui bem respeitoso ali, entendeu? Eu falei da situação, né? Que, pô, ele foi um cara que me motivou, né? Me motivou. E é isso que eu falo, cara. É um talento, todo mundo sabe. Um cara que, pô, fez história também. Pô, fez muitas defesas. Então, acho que as pessoas querem ver ele lutando, que ele continue lutando. E, pô, às vezes ele tá um pouco desmotivado, não sei o porquê, mas... Eu acho que eu sou uma boa motivação para ele estar dando esse show para essa galera, como ele sempre fez.
Well, regardless of what he say, I was respectful and I mean what I say. You know what I mean? I give him a chance. I think he's not he doesn't seem motivated, and I think there's a fight that everybody would like to see. So try to boost him to come back.
Quick question for you. Actually, first of all, congratulations. You are easily the best MMA fighter here in the Garden. 3 years running, 3 wins in a row. They're going to hang a jersey of yours from the rafters next to Clyde Frazier if you keep this up. But my actual question is more of a technique one. Your best success came with the kicks, low kicks, mid kicks, but you ended up winning with basically a shovel hook. Were you at all surprised with the kicks being a success or the knockout coming off of the hook?
Bom, primeiro que com tudo isso que você está fazendo aqui no Madison Square Garden, você é com certeza o melhor lutador de MMA que já esteve aqui. E daqui a pouco eles vão ter que colocar a sua camisa aqui já. E ele é um cara que preza muito a técnica, ele viu que o caminho da vitória foram os chutes, mas o que impressionou mais foi aquele cruzado curto que você jogou. Te impressionou aquele cruzado?
Bom, para quem acompanha, né, minhas lutas, né, já meu trabalho, sempre assim, né, eu sempre nocauteio, assim, quando golpes forte, cruzado. Geralmente é na curta, né, e, pô, eu tava ganhando a distância ali, machucando, jogando os golpes, chute na perna, saindo da distância dele, e aí comecei a machucar ele bem, e, pô, ele tinha duas opções, ou sair, correr, ou entrar, né, mais forte, foi o que ele fez, né. Ele fez essa entrada aí com meio que um modo de sobreviver, né? E aí, pô, onde entrou os cruzados curtos.
Well, everybody that know how I fight, I go, hurting my opponents little by little. And with this one was no different. So I put him on a point that he either had to start moving back or he had to start moving forward. And that's what he did. Kind of rushed a little bit, almost more, on survivor mode. So that's when he saw that he could catch him with the left hook.
Lex, over here in the front. So you've obviously accomplished a lot in this building. You won your debut in the UFC here. Next year you win your first title. Next year, this night, you win your second title. What does this arena mean to you in your career? Do you have affection for it, or is it just another place?
Pô, tudo que você fez aqui no Madison Square Garden, ganhou tudo aqui. O que essa arena significa para você? Tem algo especial ou é só mais um lugar?
Minha casa agora. Eu tenho que ver quem que eu pego essa chave.
Well, it's my house here now. Just gotta see who do I get the key.
And when will you be back at your house? Do you hope it'll be next year? I know you don't have control over that, but is that something you'd like to do next November, come back here again?
Bom, já que aqui é sua casa, no próximo novembro você gostaria de lutar aqui de novo?
Bom, agora já me perguntaram, né, pô, lutar no Brasil e tal. Pô, aqui é 1h30 dirigindo, né, até minha casa, onde eu tô morando, que é em Denver, Connecticut. Então, pô, aqui seria o melhor lugar para mim, né, para mim lutar. Mas, claro, pô, lutar pro povo brasileiro, né, onde tem uma popularidade assim de fãs, isso é fantástico, cara, poder fazer isso, levar isso para essa galera. Mas, pô, aqui acho que é o melhor lugar para mim, tô do lado de casa.
Well, like people just ask about me fighting in Brazil, right? I would love to fight over there, bring, all this love to the fans, but realistically, this is only an hour and a half drive for me, So if I could fight here, always is good.
Hey, Alex, in the back. I just wanted to ask, as somebody who also calls Danbury, Connecticut home, I just wanted to ask what it's been like to have the support of that community.
Sendo ele também uma pessoa que chama Danbury de casa, o que significa para você estar representando aquela comunidade?
Representa muito, né? Significa muito, né? Porque é onde eu cheguei ali, né? Onde eu conheci o Glover e, pô, tem muitos brasileiros ali. E, pô, sempre as pessoas me trataram bem, né? Os treinos para mim ali era fundamental, né? Pô, quando eu cheguei ali, primeiro treino, e o Glover começou a me corrigir ali, né? E assim, treinando com outras pessoas, assim, amador, né? Pessoas lutando amador, com um peso menor do que o meu e, pô, me dando um trabalho assim e às vezes me dando uma pressão. E eu falava assim, pô, esse lugar que eu tenho que ficar, né? É onde que eu vou ter um futuro, né? Se eu quero chegar aonde eu pensava naquele momento, né? Que era entrar no UFC, né? E me tornar campeão. Então, pô, ali tem ótimas lembranças, né? E é onde eu, tive todo o suporte, né? Para conquistar tudo isso.
Well, since day one when I came to Danbury, Glover was very receptive to me. Not only him, but everybody around there was very warm with me. And start training over there, and find myself training sometimes. Glover is a different guy. He put me to train sometimes with amateur guys, and I see how hard it is with his amateurs over there. So I've realized that that's a place that can bring something different for me. It's a place that I should have stayed there. So I would like to be in there.
Question from me. Congratulations on winning another championship. Compared to last year, where the volume was turned way up, and obviously there was a lot of trash talking between you and Israel, was it more of a relaxing week, knowing that you were fighting someone that respected you, you respected him? Was it more relaxing, or what was the difference?
Pô, comparado com a semana de luta com a Desan, que tem aquela guerra psicológica, um falando, né, provocando o outro e tudo aí, é melhor para você ter uma semana de luta como essa, em que seu adversário te respeita e você respeita ele?
Não, com certeza. Eu estava até conversando ontem, pô, com a minha equipe, né, e falando ali na coletiva de imprensa, né, pô, na press-conferência, né, pô, como que tava assim a galera ali, todo mundo calado ali, sem ofender um outro, né, mas a gente conseguiu, né, até na encarada ali, mostrar que seria um show, que seria um mega evento, né, a gente não precisou ficar um ofendendo um outro, falando mal do outro, né, e as pessoas sentiram isso e, pô, você viu aí como que tava, né, a arena lotada.
No, since yesterday I was talking to my team, you know what I mean, how on the press conference, everybody was more composed, more quiet, but we say that like that's not going to matter because I know that this fight's going to sell good, and so today, you know what I mean, they are the full arena in a great fight.
And one more question from me. Obviously, you're holding the same belt that Glover Teixeira held, and I and a lot of people can consider you one of the greatest Brazilian fighters of all time and put you in the same vein as an Anderson Silva, Nogueira brothers, all the greatest. But are you ready to consider yourself and put yourself on that esteemed list?
Pô, muito legal você ver com o cinturão que já foi do Glover e ele te coloca ali, né, como um maior lutador que já veio do Brasil, junto com o Anderson Silva e com o Minotauro, e você também se coloca nesse patamar?
Bom, como eu falei, estou fazendo meu trabalho. Às vezes a gente fala algo, mas pessoas criticam, né? Então, o que eu vou fazer é trabalhar, ter ótimos resultados, e aí as pessoas que são responsáveis de colocar em algum lugar ali, eles vão fazer isso e vamos ver onde que eu vou merecer estar.
Well, like I said before, I just do my job. I just keep training. Whoever's in charge to make these records, they're going to know where to put me in and where I'm going to belong.
Congratulations, champ.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, because I'm never not funny. I've also never lost a debate, so wouldn't know. You're not undefeated when there was never really a fight. Come on, I can keep going all day. Keep going all day.
45 minutes on this room, is that cool?
Sure.